Your life will improve after reading this story. Part 1 of Avery's journey to gaining confidence, the start. The peaceful village where Avery resided was encircled by rolling rivers and verdant hills. Despite having a nice heart and being a kind girl, she always felt different from the others. Due of her shyness, Avery frequently questioned herself, wondering why she couldn't be as self-assured as the other girls. She stayed out of crowds and kept her thoughts to herself. The majority of Avery's days were spent by herself, reading books and daydreaming about excursions she was too afraid to take. Everyone seemed to know each other's business in her small community. Avery became even more self-conscious as a result. She rarely spoke up because she was afraid of saying something stupid or making a mistake. Section 2. The Chance Meeting. Avery was strolling through the village market one bright afternoon when she saw an old woman fumbling with her things. Avery hurried over to assist without hesitation. "Thank you, dear," the woman said with a loving grin. "You're a good person. What's your name?" "Avery," she said quietly. After introducing herself as Mrs. Abigail, the woman asked Avery to tea in her cottage. After some hesitation, Avery accepted the invitation. The aroma of fresh flowers and herbs filled the cozy cottage of Mrs. Abigail. Mrs. Abigail told tales of her exciting childhood as they sipped their tea. "I was really shy once, too," Mrs. Abigail admitted. "However, I later came to the realization that life is too short to hide. I so began to undertake one courageous act, no matter how tiny, each day." Section 3. An inspirational spark. Avery paid close attention. She was inspired by Mrs. Abigail's stories and was captivated by them. Avery made the decision to venture outside of her comfort zone the following day. She offered to read a poem at the monthly meeting of the village. As she stepped in front of the crowd, her heart raced, but she felt at ease as she started reading. For the first time, Avery felt proud of herself as the villagers cheered. This minor victory inspired Avery to get more involved in the community. She rekindled her passion for painting, which she had put aside out of fear of criticism, by joining the local art club. Her vibrant, colorful paintings captured the beauty she observed in the world. People started to appreciate her work and recognize her potential. The Talent Show. Part 4. Avery chose to take part in a talent event that the community had publicized one day. She decided to perform a song that she had composed herself. Her legs shook when she stood on stage the night of the performance, but she took a deep breath and recalled what Mrs. Abigail had said. After Avery's passionate performance, the audience erupted in cheers. Her eyes welled up with tears of happiness upon realizing that she had discovered her voice. Section 5. Blooming, unexpected changes started to occur in Avery's life. She found new hobbies, met new friends, and above all began to believe in herself. The timid young woman who had questioned her value had changed into a self-assured adult who welcomed life. Avery discovered that being flawless does not equate to confidence. It's about taking baby steps towards your goals and accepting who you are. She became stronger and more confident with every stride, no matter how tiny. She realized that being different made her remarkable and that it was her power. Section 6. The adventure proceeds. Avery's growth proceeded over the years. She shared her tale with others who battled self-doubt, visited new locations, and interacted with people from many cultures. She turned into an inspiration, demonstrating that even the most timid people can find their voice and shine brilliantly. Avery's journey served as an example of the strength of bravery and self-belief. By accepting herself as she was, rather than altering who she was, she gained confidence and encouraged others to follow suit. Section 7. The Village Festival. The village celebrated the harvest with a large festival each year. Avery was asked to assist in planning the event this year. At first, she felt overburdened by the immense responsibilities. but she made the decision to take it on after considering Mrs. Abigail's counsel and her personal experiences. Avery spent endless hours planning events, setting up acts, and adorning the village square. Everything worked flawlessly on the festival day. The activities, food, and music were well received by the villagers, and many of them gave Avery praise for her hard work. She had never before experienced such a sense of accomplishment. Section 8. Mentoring a little girl named Mila moved to the village one day. Avery was reminded of herself as a child by Mila Avery, who was shy, uncertain, and scared to speak up, viewed this as a chance to help others. She encouraged Mila to venture outside of her comfort zone by becoming friends with her and sharing her experience. Mila opened up under Avery's tutelage. She began taking part in local events and even danced during the subsequent celebration. Avery loved seeing Mila develop and gain. She came to see that her path was about more than simply personal development. It was also about assisting others in discovering their own power. Section 9. A novel journey. Avery continued to prosper in her hamlet as the years went by. However, she was aware that the world had more to offer. Avery made the decision to travel with the help of her friends and the knowledge she had acquired. She desired to meet individuals from other backgrounds, experience different cultures, and pick up new languages. She visited thriving cities and isolated communities, as well as tranquil beaches and majestic mountains. Avery motivated people wherever she went by sharing her story. Her experiences were documented in a book that went on to become a success. After reading about Avery's journey, people all across the world gained the confidence to follow their own aspirations. Section 10. Returning home, Avery came back to her village after years of travel. They welcomed her with open arms and kind grins. The locals were proud of everything she had achieved and had followed her journeys through her book. As Avery gazed around at the starting point of her voyage, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Avery kept on mentoring young people in her village and painting and writing. She was aware that there were still a lot of chapters left to write and that her story was far from finished. She knew that no matter where life led her, she would always have that strength inside of her, since her confidence had become an indestructible part of who she was. Conclusion. Avery's path demonstrated the strength of self-belief. She had changed from a timid, insecure young woman to a self-assured, motivating adult. Her experience demonstrated that confidence is a journey of modest steps and courageous choices rather than something that arrives immediately. Avery's life served as a brilliant illustration of how accepting oneself and having the courage to dream may result in a happy, adventurous, and fulfilled existence. Avery discovered throughout her experiences that genuine self-assurance originates internally. It's about daring to shine, embracing your individuality, and respecting who you are. By doing this, she encouraged a great number of people to discover their own route to self-assurance and contentment. Section 11. Inspirational legacy. Many people were moved by Avery's story, which went viral. She received invitations to lecture at conferences, colleges, and schools all around the world. People were curious about Avery's travels, and she was always delighted to tell them about it. She talked about the value of believing in oneself, the strength of baby steps, and the beauty of accepting oneself as one is. Numerous languages were translated into her book, and she received letters from readers around the world telling her how her narrative had impacted their lives. These words drove Avery to tears, and she became aware of the enormous influence her journey had on other people. Avery kept writing, using her words to create vivid images in the same way that she did with her brush. She wrote several books, all of them were inspirational and full of hope. Her paintings were praised for their rich colors and emotional depth, and her art shows attracted sizable audiences. Section 12. Carrying the light. Avery made the decision to carry on the tradition for the following generation as she grew older. She gave young authors and artists training, assisting them in discovering their own voices and self-assurance. She ensured that everyone had the chance to follow their aspirations by creating scholarships for gifted but impoverished young people. Avery's mentorship program grew, reaching towns and villages outside of her own. She contributed to the creation of a network of self-assured, motivated youth who started to positively influence their communities by promoting courage and self-belief. Section 13, A Lifetime of Satisfaction. As she grew older, Avery reflected on her life with a feeling of accomplishment. She had led an adventurous, creative, and loving life. She had discovered her voice, accepted her individuality, and confronted her concerns. She had sparked a wave of inspiration and confidence by encouraging others to follow her. Avery kept writing and painting. Her heart is constantly filled with purpose and enthusiasm. She enjoyed life's small joys while spending her days with her loved ones. She frequently went to Mrs. Abigail's grave, where she would leave flowers and mutter words of appreciation to the woman who had inspired her so many years before. Conclusion: The Garden of Butterfly. There was a lovely garden called the Butterfly Garden in her village. It was brimming with colorful flowers and fluttering butterflies, which stand for beauty and metamorphosis. Avery had envisioned the garden as a setting for inspiration and tranquility. Avery sat in the butterfly garden one sunny afternoon and observed the butterflies as they moved among the flowers. She grinned with a profound sense of satisfaction. Although her path had been lengthy and occasionally challenging, it had also been immensely fulfilling. In the hearts of people Avery had impacted, her legacy endured. Her experience served as a reminder that finding confidence and shining brilliantly is always possible, regardless of how shy or insecure one may feel. Many others now look up to the quiet girl who experienced self-doubt as a source of inspiration and hope. Avery's life served as a tribute to the beauty of accepting oneself as you are and the strength of self-belief. She left a legacy of bravery, self-assurance, and kindness in the process, changing not just her own life, but also the lives of many others.